Okay, so playoffs start tonight, which is unbelievably exciting. So, given that I am a Hurricanes fan and I have other teams I cheer for, like Colorado and Edmonton, this predictions will probably be a little bit of bias, but I figured I'd still make a video because I do make videos on hockey, mostly the Carolina Hurricanes. And I figured, why not tip my hat and give my extremely accurate, which will be the definitive way the playoffs go, playoff predictions because, well, I don't know, like it'll be fun. So, you know, I'm doing these on the fly. I've done my bracket before, but I don't want to go on my bracket. I just want to just give out what I'm feeling at the start of the playoffs. So, I will start with the Canadian division. So, we'll start with the number 1, number 4, and that is the Leafs Canadians. I have the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the series in 5 games because Montreal has really been struggling of late. I'm going to go a lot off of how well teams are playing coming into this playoff race. So I'm going to go Maple Leafs over the Montreal Canadiens. So there's that. And then we have the Edmonton Oilers versus the Winnipeg Jets. I do have Edmonton winning in 6. I think Edmonton will win the series. I think Hellebuck will steal at least one game, and then, I think maybe they'll steal another game. So I have Edmonton in 6 for that one, which my dad will be very happy about. Next up, I will go with the West first round. So we have the Avalanche versus the Blues. I have the Avalanche in 5. I think St. Louis has been struggling quite a bit. They are, I think Colorado's in store for a deep playoff run, definitely getting past the first round. And I think St. Louis, I think they're a core that's a little bit on the decline, and maybe they'll prove me wrong in this playoffs. But I have Colorado in 5. And then next up in the West, we have the Golden Knights versus the Minnesota Wild. This one's the hardest one for me. This is the one I go back and forth on the most. I think next year, Minnesota will be the one beating Vegas in a playoff series if they meet in the playoffs. But for this year, I got to go with the Vegas Golden Knights. I feel like they're honestly maybe the second, like as hot as Minnesota's been, Vegas has been just white hot all year, and they almost won the Presidents and everything, So I got to go with Vegas, but it's going to be in 7 because I think this is one of the close series matchups on here. And next up, I will do the East. So in the East, we have the Capitals versus the Bruins. I think with Taylor Hall and the fact that Boston has really just started playing a lot better, I'm actually going to go with the Bruins. I think the Bruins are going to win 7 games. I think those 2-3 series are going to be a lot more difficult over the Capitals, and I don't like either of these teams. There's no bias here. I think with the addition of Taylor Hall and just with the fact that Boston has gotten a lot better with Taylor Hall added to that lineup, I got to go with Boston. But I think this will be, I think I said 7 games. I think this might be another 7-game series. 7 or 6 games. Of the series I'm going to predict in 7, this is the one I could see Boston winning in 6 the most. Then we have the Penguins versus the Islanders. Pittsburgh is my least favorite team, so as much as I want to say Pittsburgh is going to lose to any team in the playoffs, I think Pittsburgh is definitely going to get past the first round over the Islanders, and I'm going to go with in 6 games. And now let's go with the Central Division, which we have first up the number 2 Panthers versus the number 3 Lightning. I have the Lightning winning in 7. I was just kind of deciding there again, but I have the Lightning winning. I think with Stamkos and Kucherov coming back, it is going to get them over the hump of the Panthers. They've had a chance to rest after their 2 losses to the Florida Panthers. So I have the Lightning winning the first ever Battle of Florida, and it'll probably won't be the last Battle of Florida if Florida can get over the hump. Because I think if Florida can have a consistently good team, this is a team that will win playoff series. I just don't think they win it this year because of who they're matched up against. And then we have my favorite team, the Nashville Predators, versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Or not my favorite team, the Nashville Predators. My favorite team, the Carolina Hurricanes, versus the Nashville Predators. Now, I expressed doubts in my last game between the Hurricanes and Panthers when they lost 5-0. However, Carolina's had a chance to breathe. They're going to come in. They feel the need to win. And, I think Carolina does win this playoff series. I think it's going to be in 6 games. I used to think 5 based on the way Nashville's played. I think they win in 6 games. I think it's going to be I think every game's going to be close. I do think Carolina ultimately comes out on top. So now let's go to the divisional finals. So you have Toronto versus Edmonton. I do have Edmonton winning the series. I do think McDavid is better than Matthews. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a great series. I do have Edmonton winning in 7 games, and that's partly just to make my dad happy. And then we have the Avalanche versus the Golden Knights. I do have the Avalanche winning. I think it's going to be in 7 games. I do think Colorado is a slightly better team than Vegas, and that probably is a lot of personal bias because I do like Colorado over the Vegas Golden Knights a lot more. So, yeah, I do have Colorado winning. So then we have, because we can't have nice things, my 2 least favorite teams playing in the semifinal. I don't really like Washington either. The East Division's just in general my least favorite division of all the teams I cheer for in it, but take with that what you will. But I do have Pittsburgh winning. This would be the one time we're rooting for Boston, but I'm not going to bet against Crosby and Malkin. Just they've won 3 Stanley Cups to my everlasting anger. So I do have Pittsburgh winning. And then we have, I've done Avs. Have I done Avs Knights? No, I haven't. Yeah, I have. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's all of them so far. And then yeah, all right. So then we lastly have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I am going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes over Tampa Bay. This is personal bias. Kind of one of the trending things on here is that I can't really bet against my team when they're playing really good hockey. And then when my team isn't playing well, I bet against them like crazy. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs in 2019, but, I'm one of those people. I can't really bet against my favorite team. So I am going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes winning. And then we have the Final Four, which I'm just going to seed them the way they are now. So we have, let me just go to standings, playoffs. Oh, that's taken out. So that's great, the NHL app. But I think it is because Colorado finished above Carolina. Carolina is the 2nd seed, and then it would be, Oilers, Avs, and then Canes, Penguins. So I have the Avalanche overcoming the Edmonton Oilers, and this is so hard to predict. And I'm going to say 5 games, maybe 6, 5 or 6 games, but I'll go with 5. I think, I think Edmonton's great, but I think they're not going to be able to rely on Draisaitl, Nuge, and McDavid all series. I think they're going to run into a team that can shut them down, and I think it'll be Colorado. So, I think Edmonton's probably going to win a cup next year. They're going into next season. They're probably going to be, if I do a beginning of the season predictions, Edmonton's going to definitely be number 1. But I'm going to have Edmonton winning the cup. But this year, I think they get to the conference finals. I don't think not conference finals, semifinals. I don't think they win. And then we have Carolina versus Pittsburgh. I would hate myself if I picked Carolina over Pittsburgh, so I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Carolina defeating the Pittsburgh Penguins, and just to make sure I have an aneurysm from stress in 7 games, because, if that happens, I will at least have 3 games where I'm going to rant about it. But so then we have my 2 favorite teams in the Cup final. And again, this is where I'm 100% sure personal bias in who I cheer for comes into play, because I just don't really like betting against my favorite teams. If my teams are going to win, I want to be right about it. It's not always true, but so we have Carolina versus Colorado. And as much as I'd like Carolina to win, and I don't think Carolina is going to win the Cup this year, I think Colorado is just too good of a hockey club. So I'm going to go with Colorado winning the Stanley Cup this year over Carolina. And because it's the Cup Finals, probably 7 games, just because I've said those are the top 2 teams in the NHL this year, which, I'm going to have fun. I mean, I'm not going to have fun. Colorado will be my least favorite team for those 7 games. I think they'll always be my 2nd favorite team in general, but my least favorite team is who ends up playing the Hurricanes. But it's going to be exciting seeing my 2 favorite teams play in the Cup Finals if that was going to happen. But I'm pretty sure this is wrong, because that's way too good to be true, the hockey gods. hate me too much for my two favorite teams to play in the Cup Finals and three of my favorite teams to play in the what do you call them? The semifinals. So, but those are my incredibly accurate predictions, and just comment down below how wrong I am because you're probably right. I'm probably wrong. But, I just think this is fun to do. So, I'll upload this and everything, and I'll see you guys for Carolina versus Nashville on Monday night. So, yeah,